Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Woke by Accident podcast. It is a weekly chat about socially conscious topics impacting the culture. On this episode, we are joined by Sambaza, host and creator of the Sambaza podcast. Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Woke by Accident podcast, a weekly chat about socially conscious topics impacting the culture. We are excited to have our co-host, Sambaza, host and creator of the Sambaza podcast, originating from the Republic of Kenya. He has established himself as a distinguished voice in the podcasting community. His work has been recognized with 3 nominations for Best African Diasporan Podcast by the APBA, along with a nomination for Best Blog by the Texas Creator Awards, and he has been featured as a presenter at the Afroza Audio Podcast Festival and contributed at the 2025 Podfest. Hey, Sambaza.
Hey, Jen, what's up? How's it going?
Good. Welcome.
Thank you. How was your week?
Not too bad. Another day, another dollar.
Oh yeah, that's a regular saying. But mine was good. I mean, everything is going great. Getting ready for so many things are happening. This month of November is really busy. Every weekend, it's like we have a lot going on. But we'll get through it. It's just the stress,
With the family and the holidays, or just
yeah.
Okay.
Everything is just coming into being, all these parties and what have you. But looks like things are going to be great. Today we have an awesome show. We got somebody that is really going to help us out today with opening up a lot of things up. But before we start, let me give you our affirmations.
Okay.
Right? The affirmation for the day is going to be, let's see. I grow more confident and stronger each day. I grow more confident and stronger each day. That's our affirmation for the week. And I think this will help us start off the show. So go ahead. What do we have?
Excellent. I received that. Thank you for sharing affirmation. We definitely try to promote healthy, positive, and mental health behaviors. So we definitely are glad that you brought a affirmation. As you mentioned, we do have a great show and a guest. So we're really excited about that. What we hope to do, so we're going to introduce our topic and guest at this time. So what we hope to do with this episode is unpeel a lot of critical updates with the 2025 healthcare open enrollment season upon us. We want to focus on some of the recent federal legislation and market changes that are impacting premiums, coverage options. So with significant shifts underway, a lot of people need guidance and, guidance and support, I would say, to prepare for the rising costs and to make informed decisions about their healthcare choices. So we're glad to touch in with a healthcare professional that can shed a little light on this. And so we will introduce our guest at this time. So our guest is a 20-year registered nurse from Dallas, Texas, and a devoted wife and mother. She is passionate about promoting health and wellness and advocates for building healthy and positive relationships. So we are happy to have join us Ms. Tiffany B.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Jen. Hi, Stephen.
Hey, welcome back.
Thank you for having me. This is a topic near and dear to my heart.
Okay.
You forgot. She is also an upcoming business owner.
Okay. You'll have to share more about that. We're excited to hear about your entrepreneur efforts, and kudos on that.
Well, thank you. It actually is very much what I'm going to speak about today. Healthcare and why you need it and why is it best to have preventative health opposed to tertiary care, which is a third-party care after the fact care, which most of us do after the fact.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Now, before we get into everything here, we usually travel around. This time I'm taking a break from my travels, but That doesn't mean that I don't have an African proverb. I have an African proverb, and the proverb of the day says, examine what is said, not who is speaking. That's our African proverb of the day. Can you say what you would think about, what you think about that proverb? Or how would you decimate that proverb?
Pretty much listen to the topic at hand. Understand what is being said instead of focusing on the person who's delivering what's being said. Is how I
Okay.
take that.
Right, the
So,
message, right? Yeah, I like
right,
that.
listen, be mindful of what is being said. That's a good African proverb puts it for today. So if you can just turn off your camera and listen to the words that are being said, maybe, you can absorb it more without being distracted about what's going on the
Mm,
TV or on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
Mm-hmm. And what about you, Jen? How would
No,
you?
I like that. I think the
Mhm.
message, whichever message that you're taking in, is more so important than the visual. So
Mhm.
I agree with that and
Yeah,
receive that.
same. Because there's no, like you said, it's all about what you think the proverb is and how you interpret it. And like I
Hmm.
said, for the most part, for me, I'd go the same way. I mean, most of the time, it could be an elder, it could be a young man, it could be somebody who's on the street, but may tell you something, and then you have a perception of what you think the person may come out as. However, what they
Hmm.
tell you is something that you may help you, or you may need to pay attention to. So doesn't matter where the source is, pay attention to the message.
There you go.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And with that, we start the show. Are you ready, Miss Tiffany?
Yes, I am Mr.
Oh,
Steven.
all
Oh,
right.
I'm sorry, they call you Sambaza, Mr. Sambaza.
Who you calling?
No.
I know him by his government name. So
People don't know who you're asking questions at. Um,
And shout out to the other platforms that you set up for us.
oh yeah, we are on Instagram. Not
Hmm.
Instagram. We're on Club. We were supposed to be on Clubhouse, but we're on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube, and that's uh, that's where we're going to be broadcasting today. And we appreciate you coming in. Now, I want to ask you a question. This is regarding the federal legislation that has been impacting the premium cost lately and eligibility. What are the common mistakes people make during open enrollment, and how can they avoid them?
the biggest mistake that most people make during open enrollment, whether it be with your employer health plan or the Affordable Care Act or Medicare or Medicaid, is the first thing they think about is the deductible. I don't want a
Hmm.
high deductible. That's the main concern, is I don't want a high deductible. But a high deductible for a very healthy person is it's okay. It depends on what your need is. You have to look at your needs and what's going to be best for you at that moment. Maybe it is a high deductible. A high deductible just means that's the max amount that you will have to pay before the insurance kicks in, usually at 100% or 80%.
Right.
You have to meet that deductible. And if you're pretty healthy, most of us will never meet our deductible unless a catastrophic event happens, and God forbid that happens, right?
Mhm.
So if you can get a lower premium with a higher deductible, but it gives you copays and it gives you doctor visits and you get a discount on your prescriptions, then that might be the plan for you. So don't always think about what the deductible is. Think
Mhm.
about what your current needs are.
Okay. And then, Stephen, I wanted you to share a little bit more about the legislation of like, why are we here in this? Why is it that the premiums are going up and things like that? Just in case people, it's a lot to take in. So it's kind of helpful to understand the
Oh,
legislation piece and how we got here.
definitely. So, 2025 is different. The reason because
Mhm.
is the healthcare insurers on ACA Affordable Care Act, or sometimes they call it Obama
Mhm.
whatever healthcare. marketplaces are raising their premiums by an average of 26%, and some states have increased or have seen some increases for up to about 30%. Now, you may ask yourself why. But this is what we have found out, that these spikes are partially due to the rollback of enhanced premium tax credits, meaning that millions of people could pay much more unless the Congress renews its subsidies. That is a bone of contention, and that's the reason why we are in this current lockout situation. Now, the new federal budget reconciliation law, that's one big beautiful bill act signed by President Donald Trump on July 4th, 2025, includes over 1 trillion in cuts to health programs, and is estimated to increase the uninsured population by 10 million, careful making careful decision making during the open enrollment becomes what people have to take into consideration, and that's how we all came
Right.
up to this. Me asking the question about what you need to look out for first, but that was the reason why we are here today talking about how that one big beautiful bill act is going to affect us as the new season of open enrollment rolls in.
Right. So can you imagine someone who doesn't even have insurance at all? Like that, I mean, can you speak to that? Like the impact
Well,
as with this change?
there are ways to get health care without health
Mhm.
insurance. And it's best to have health insurance. The number one reason it is best to have it is because if you do, say, have an accident or a catastrophic incident, or even you're a sickly person, then you'll have benefits to rely on. For example, if you go into the hospital, say emergency room, and you had an accident, you have a cap on how much you're going to pay when you have an insurance plan. When you
Mhm.
have a deductible, you're going to pay your deductible, and then that's pretty much your out of pocket max is going to be the cap of what you're going to pay. Whereas if you don't have insurance, then most of the time they're going to treat you only to stabilize you, and then they'll send you home with a follow up. And most people who
Mhm.
don't have insurance will never follow up. Um, so that's one of the biggest reasons why we should have insurance. But one of the things I like to talk about, or the main thing I like to focus on, is the fact that not having insurance doesn't mean that you can't have health care. They have multiple
Okay.
urgent cares.
Mhm.
Everybody, the first thing a person will say, most people will say, is, I can't afford it. I do understand insurance is very expensive. Even my insurance with the healthcare provider
Mhm.
is expensive. Say for instance, I'm a nurse, right? My insurance is approximately $8,000 a year for the family, roundabout number.
Wow.
Somebody else who is a nursing assistant who's not making as much money as I am, they
Mhm.
have that same policy at the same company. So when people
Right.
say they can't afford a premium, they probably can't, because where I can afford 400 dollars per pay period out of my check, someone who's making half of what I'm making can't afford the $400 out of their paycheck,
Right.
because they're not going to offer a different plan to me than somebody else who's in the same company. So if you find yourself in that situation, there are urgent cares that you can pay cash prices, where they set up
Mhm.
primary care doctors, where you can get that service, the primary care service, through the urgent cares that's near you in your neighborhood, um, by paying cash prices. And then you can see these people who will follow up with your care, because if you go to the emergency room for something that's not an emergency, they're going to
Mhm.
treat you at that time, discharge you, and tell you to follow up. I was an emergency room nurse for over 20 years.
Mhm.
So I can tell you, we will treat you and street you. That's the words, treat and street.
Mm.
So a lot of people use the emergency room as their primary doctor. They're not getting a benefit. If you have high blood pressure and you go to the emergency room, you have pressure 200 over 150, they will
Mhm.
stabilize you. They'll give you 30 days worth of medicine and tell you to follow up with a primary care doctor. and you don't have one. So you're just hurting yourself in the long run. You're just causing
Mm,
issues because everything is connected in the body. That song you say, the hip bone connected to the thigh bone and the
mhm,
backbone, that little song that we used to sing as
mhm,
kids, that is true. Everything in your body is connected. One thing is always connected to the other. So it's very important for you when you're looking at your open enrollment, if you can afford the marketplace, to one, do not look at the deductible. That's not the main thing you want
mm,
to focus on. You want to focus on what benefits do I need at this time. Do I have high blood pressure? Yes, I do. I need to see a primary care doctor every 3 to 6 months. I need my blood work drawn. So a deductible is just worst case scenario.
mhm,
Don't focus on the out of pocket max. That's a worst case scenario. Focus on what services you're getting right now. Make sure your doctors are in network with the choice that you make. A lot of people, I just want a lower deductible, and you don't have you don't have a doctors. You don't have doctors in that. You have
mm,
one doctor that's participating in that plan, but you're paying a very little amount monthly, but you only have one doctor. So is that really serving you?
right, right.
So how are you able to look at it? Because I know when we're younger, we feel invincible, and if you don't have a lot of these diseases, that's when you don't really look at primary health care as a necessity as such. You fall sick, you take some medicine here and there, or you go to the chemist and say, okay, this is what I have. But as you get older, you now become more conversant with your health care, and then you also are worried as when you have a family, um, to kind of figure out where you will lie with these healthcare options. Now, my question would be, how would you navigate it as a young person as opposed to an older person? Is it in terms of education, or age, or is it going to be also a male or female? Because
Mhm,
as a female, you have to go to a hospital in every. So, well, I've heard some people don't, but
mhm,
it's practically you have to go to a hospital each year. Same as to males. I'm not saying that we shouldn't go, but there's that discrepancy there a little bit, on where a male can duck sometimes, but for a lady, it's more important. And then when you get older, you have kids. How do you get yourself from that situation, and with the healthcare, especially looking at premiums?
When you're younger, and it doesn't differ between men and women. Yeah, women have well woman exams that they must attend every year. Your gynecologist, you're going to do your pap smear every year. Um, and you don't really start to do mammograms until 35, 40 years old. So at each stage
mhm,
of your life, when you're looking at 20-year-old, what a 20-year-old need is totally different than what a 40-year-old needs. The
mhm,
requirements are different. At 20 years old, I can have the highest, I can have just major medical, which is if something catastrophic happened, I have coverage to cover that catastrophic uh, event, because I'm young, I'm healthy, I don't have a whole lot of chronic illnesses. I'm just going to need to see my doctor maybe once or twice a year.
mhm,
With a female, you're going to see the doctor once a year, definitely your GYN doctor, and maybe you're going to get a physical and have blood work drawn. That's from between the age of 20 and like 30, that's all you really need. Actually, up to about 31, 32 is when you're going to
mhm,
start having those chronic illnesses, late 20s, early 30s. And when if you're going to have a chronic illness, that's when it's usually going to rear its head, because with anything, a new body, 20 years old, pretty new, it's going to compensate. As your body gets older, compensation wears off. Your body is
mhm,
less able to compensate for all of the health issues that are going on internally. So you're going to need at 30, you're probably going to see your doctor twice a year. Physicals twice a year, once at the beginning of the year, once at the middle of the year. Everybody should see a doctor for physicals, because if something catastrophic happened, if you have a stroke, if anything happens, you must have baseline information. And that's
mhm,
what your primary doctor is. Your primary doctor is laying that foundation. They lay in a baseline information. This is what's normal. for this person. Everybody is different. Everybody is unique. Your blood work, even that's why there is a range. Everybody's not the same. So you need to see a primary care doctor. You need to have that baseline work done. Um, so when you're looking at premiums for say a young 20-year-old, I only need major medical. My premiums are going to be very low. I'm not going to see the doctor. A lot of people will only get major medical. They don't come with copays, especially if you're on the Affordable Care Act. Now, up until 26 years old, if your kid is in college, they can stay on a parent's insurance up to 26 years old. So you're good if they're in college until they graduate. And even after that, some plans will allow your dependent to enroll on your plan up until the age of 26. So you would
26.
have to
Yeah.
check your own plan to see if they have like the stipulation that the child or the dependent were required to be in school or not. But I know it's up to 26 years of age. After 26 years of age, remember we talked about that's when those chronic illnesses are going to show up. That's when you need to start looking, okay, maybe I need a copay plan. Maybe I don't need to have a copay plan that's $20 for primary care doctors. Maybe I need one that's maybe $100 for a primary doctor, because I'm only seeing them twice a year. Remember that.
Mm.
You want to make sure the money that you're putting out for the plan is going to be beneficial to you and what you're paying out throughout the year using the plan. Because if you have a plan that you never use but you're paying top dollar for, is that beneficial? That's not spending your money wisely.
Okay.
So you have to think about, what do I need at this time? When you turn 40 and 50, you're going to see probably your gynecologist as a woman. You're going to see your primary doctor as a woman, and you're probably going to have some other issues that you're going to have a specialist for, because we end up with digestive issues. So now you got to see a specialist. And when you're looking at those copays, a primary doctor is just that. It's just a primary doctor. They handle everything. It's usually some internal medicine doctor. But when you start looking at ENT, GI doctors, urologists, podiatrists,
Endocrinologist.
endocrinologists, and then you start to look at the people with what is the biggest one, back pain, orthopedic. All of those are specialists. And there is a different rate for a specialist than there is for a primary care doctor. You also want to look at how much it's going to cost me to get lab work. Some plans will say you only pay $30 to get your lab work, right? So you can get all your lab work for $30, but then they have some plans that say co-insurance. What is co-insurance? Do either one of y'all know what co-insurance is?
Is that the part that you're responsible for?
Right.
Okay.
Your co-insurance is what you are responsible for. So you may have a deductible plus $20 in co-insurance. It's probably you meet your deductible, and then the co-insurance is like usually 20/80 or 40/60, meaning that you pay 40% of the bill. You pay 40% and your plan pays 60, but that's not going to happen until you meet your deductible.
Correct.
So you want to pay attention, one, and when you're in that case where you're going to see the doctor more, that's when you want to forego your deductible to get the lower copays, because it's going to be more beneficial to you to pay less and get more. I just helped one of my clients recently. She had the option to select a plan, a wellness plan that would give her lower copays, but the plan was going to cost her $20 more a month than what her current plan she was on is costing. And she was like, but it's going to cost me more in a month. But on the current plan that she's on, she was paying $75 to see specialists, and she had a lot of specialists. Whereas on the new plan, she would pay $20 extra, but it would only be $50 to see the specialist. So each time she was seeing her specialist, she would save $25.
And then, Ms. Tiffany, I want you to speak to flex. Is it flex spending? I know if like someone works for an employer and you're picking your options, they may have it, and you get reimbursed, and you can buy health related things like you can go toward your pair of glasses or
Health savings account. There are
yes.
multiple different.
Okay,
There's
there we go.
multiple different plans. There is a flex spending, and they all different. Your each employer
Mhm.
have different versions of what they call health savings account. Usually, you will they'll give you money. Your employer, like if you do your wellness exam or your wellness check, they'll give you $250 or $500 to put in your health savings account. And then you will add in from your check how much you want to put in your health savings account. Some of these accounts are portable to the next year. A lot of them are not, which means that if you don't
Yeah.
use it, you lose it. But one of the best benefits for health savings account is that it's tax free. It's a
Mhm.
tax, even with your deductible or your payment for your insurance through your employer, that
Mhm.
comes out pre-taxed.
Okay. So you
So,
do see a benefit for doing it because I actually did it this year. I've had all my years of working. I never did it because I didn't totally understand it and I didn't know that it was like to my benefit. And I was like, oh, I don't know. You know, you're paying for it anyway. So what's the and I just the our healthcare contact person just made it seem like it's a benefit to you to do it. So I did it, but I did choose a lower thing. Like I think you could have had a $500 one, and they actually put ours on a card. So,
hmm so you can contribute to your health savings account,
hmm
and it will be pre-tax. That's good for things like my kids had braces,
hmm
so I just calculated how much it was going to be. The payments were going to be throughout the year and added it to the health savings account. So I pay for their braces tax free
mm. So
because
that's
I
yeah.
use the card to pay the orthodontist for the braces. So if you know you have things like if you have blood pressure medication or if you have any type of medication, you can use this health savings account for those medications. If you wear glasses and you know you're going to get a pair of glasses, you can
hmm
use that for the glasses. So again, all of that is tax-free money that you're using that's not going to come out of your after-tax income, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
So it is a
Definitely.
benefit to you.
hmm
It's a
hmm
big benefit to you. Like my client who I just recently helped. After we calculated $20 times 12, um, which was what two? I don't math well. Like
240.
$240. I was gonna say that. Disclaimer: I'm not a mathematician, but $240 she's gonna pay extra. But she see the
hmm
doctor at least 10 times a year between all of her specialists, and that's just the specialists.
Right.
She saved $25 per visit. That's still 250. So she paying
hmm
240 extra, but she already saved 250. Plus, there's no copay for labs. There's no copay for any diagnostic exams. There's no copay for her primary care physician. So even though she's paying more up front,
hmm
because of the amount of time or the amount of time she's going to see the doctor, she definitely pays less overall. So that's what I'm saying. When you're looking at these plans, it's very difficult, and if you don't know it, it's very
hmm
confusing for you
Right.
to choose. It sounds like blah 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 blah, kind of like Charlie Brown, the older
Yeah.
people in Charlie Brown, like blah 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 blah. Yeah, right. So
Right.
um that's why, okay, and you asked me, Stephen mentioned my business, right? This is the business I
Yes.
do. This is the
Okay.
business I would do. I would help you understand your insurance, help you understand your plan and
hmm
which plans and which one is best for you at this time in your life.
Okay.
So you're not wasting money because it doesn't make that. I hate to see people who, yes, I have insurance, but I don't have doctors in my network. So
hmm
now I'm still paying because most of these plans they have, you're gonna have a higher fee for out of network services
True.
than
True.
in network services. So when you choosing a plan, make sure you don't go by deductible. Make sure you find out what needs you need at this moment, how often you're gonna see the doctor. So and then you want to make sure the doctors that you do need to see are within that network plan.
Right. And if you have that flex account, you definitely because I think mine you do have to use it. It doesn't roll. So
hmm
you definitely want
Make
to make
sure
sure
you
you're
use
utilizing.
it. Yeah, and they usually give you time when January 1 hit. You
Mm-hmm.
still have a couple of months to use that card to send in claims to
Mm,
retrieve that money. So say you got billed for something and you paid it out of your pocket, you still can send that claim in, submit it, and get reimbursed for it. And honestly, to tell you the truth, I don't be reimbursed. Don't get reimbursed, because remember, you're spending after tax dollars when you spend your money.
right.
But if you use the card up front, that's pre-tax dollars.
Okay.
So you're
Which,
saving.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. So, okay. So really, I don't have that much time to be January in a minute, so.
Wait, you got this last January?
No, I just, for the change, which just went into effect at the end of October, or is
Well,
it going
no,
to take
open
me?
enrollment is for 2026. So you do open
Okay.
enrollment in
Okay.
October,
So this,
but
yeah.
your benefits are not going to start until
Oh, until,
2026. So
okay.
whatever
So this,
benefits you have this year are currently in place.
okay. 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 I get it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I have a question. I want to go back to when you talked about people going to get health care.
Mhm.
And my question is, if you keep switching, like now you don't have insurance and you keep switching doctors, or you go to the emergency room, or you use these doctors that you pay cash, what happens to your records? Are you able to keep up with the records, or who maintains all these records? Because now, let's say I was young, I was a laborer, and I was doing all that. So this is what I was doing, paying cash and to go to these other options. Now I have gotten a job where it's steady and I have enough money to pay for a plan, and I am going to this primary care doctor. How do I retrieve all those records to be
You
able
tell your
to?
doctor where you went. You go to
Mhm.
the new primary doctor. You let them know,
Mhm.
I've seen this doctor, and this doctor, and then you fill out a medical release form. And then that
Mm,
doctor will fax over the medical release form that you signed to the doctors that you previously saw, and they
Mhm.
will send over all of your records. But if you don't have the money to, because this, a lot of people will fall into this category. I do not have the money, I cannot afford the health plan that is given to me by my healthcare provider. There's always a
mhm.
cash price, and guess what, the cash price is always cheaper.
Really?
If you go to the doctor and you say, what's the cash price, they'll give you
Well,
a
unless
cash
it's like
price.
surgery, right?
Even
Like,
with surgery, there is a
mm,
cash price that
mm-hmm,
you can pay. Sometimes, lo and behold, it's cheaper to pay the cash price than
mm-hmm,
to use the insurance. Case in point, we have pharmacy benefits.
mm-hmm,
Sometimes it's cheaper for me to use GoodRx
mm-hmm.
than to use my pharmacy benefit.
Oh,
I'm gonna pay more with my pharmacy benefit than I will using GoodRx.
okay.
So you have to ask, what if you have a major medical plan, or you have a plan with a high deductible and you need a preventative surgery, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can have them quote you what it would cost using your insurance, and then ask them what's the cash price.
And I guess, like you said, it depends on what it is. We talked about, A1C not too long ago, and, a popular medication is Ozempic. I know when I was first getting it, it was like, oh, it's in high demand, and, out of pocket is like over $1,000. And I know some people that's paying the grand for it, but with insurance, it's $40, or $60, depending on what you got going on. So that's a big difference to pay 1,000. I mean, it depends on the medication, but
Hmm. Well, here's another plan. I'm sorry. Here's another thing with that,
mm-hmm,
that a lot of people don't know. Even though your insurance plan for Ozempic is $60, or Zepbound or Manjaro, whatever you're taking,
mm-hmm,
the actual company who makes it have stipends for $25 a month. All you have to do is go on, fill out a form, and they send you a card. You provide that card, to that number and a bin
mm-hmm.
number, to your pharmacy, and every time they ship it, it would only be $25 and not 60.
Oh wow. Okay. And my doctor mentioned that there's some kind of card that you can
Yeah.
get. And when
All
I
you
went,
have to do is go to their website, fill out the information,
hmm
and they will give you the numbers that you would need, and then you just call your insurance, your pharmacy, and your pharmacy plan, provide them with that information,
okay.
and it'll be $25 every month.
Oh wow.
It's
Okay.
good for a year.
Wow, that's significant. And then some people who are out, paying over $1,000
They will
for.
pay over $1,000 because they don't know, and that's why they would need my
Mm.
services.
So okay. Are,
Now, I have a question regarding healthcare.
Mhm.
Um, you don't have healthcare, say for example, and you have a major issue and you have to go to the hospital. Will you get treated or not?
You
And what
will
are the
be
repercussions?
stabilized.
Mhm.
You will be stabilized because so there's one act that, and I don't do politics because politics depress me, so I don't do politics. But I will say this about politics: there's a law,
Mhm.
EMTALA is a law that was put in place by Ronald Reagan, and the EMTALA law means that if I go to a hospital, you cannot let me die. If I'm in a hospital and I'm in an acute situation,
Mm-mm.
I'm sorry, regardless
Okay.
of um whether or not I have insurance, you have to
Mhm.
treat me. So what will happen? I say, let's for example, you go to the hospital with chest pain, right? They do a ultrasound or whatever they do. They do cath lab or scan, and they find out you have clogged arteries. But the arteries are enough to have blood flowing.
Mhm.
But you do need an intervention, but not right now. You can wait to see a cardiologist. They
Right.
will treat you, stabilize you, and discharge you and say follow up with a cardiologist. So if they don't have to do the surgery, especially if you have something like if you go to the hospital and they find out that you have um a mass
Mhm.
on your kidney or something, right? They will tell you you have a mass on your kidney. They will stabilize you so your vital signs are stable and tell you to follow up with a urologist.
Mhm.
Even if they find that it's cancer, if they do it and it looks suspicious for cancer, they're going to tell you follow up with your urologist. You need a biopsy, and if you have no health insurance, no doctor is going to take you. You'll have to
Mhm.
go to your local indigent care. For us, that's Parkland. I'm not sure what hospital that would be in your city, Jen,
Okay.
but you would have to go to the indigent care, a place that gives free services, and then you
Mhm.
would have to try to sign up in their clinic. It could there are hospitals that will treat indigent or treat people without insurance. But
Mhm.
again, with legislation, they want to cut all of that. They want to cut EMTALA, which means the
Mhm.
hospitals are not going to be reimbursed by the government for treating these people who don't have insurance. So guess what's going to happen now?
Hmm.
They're not going to be treated.
Right. Right.
We're just stunning
So,
like
I
in
mean, it's a
Africa.
lot of ramifications. It's best to have insurance. Another thing is
Mhm.
people,
Mhm.
they don't want to pay for insurance. I can't afford it, but you can afford to go out to eat. I can't afford insurance, but you can buy the new outfit. It's all about what's
Mm.
important to you because when you
True.
feel good, if you don't have a pain, if you're not feeling well, if you're feeling well, you're not thinking about your health,
Mhm.
but your health is always declining. You don't know. High blood pressure, number one killer. It's called silent
Absolutely.
killer for a reason because
Mhm.
it gives you no symptoms. And by the time you get the symptom, it's too late. The damage is already done. People think high blood pressure will kill your kidneys, kill the function of your heart, kill the ability for you end up not being able to walk. It hurts your respiratory because your heart is weak now because it's so
Mhm.
big. And when I say big, just let's think about a rubber band. You know how you get those thick rubber bands from a package? They're really thick, and when you pull them and they snap back real hard, those
Right.
big thick rubber bands, well, that's your heart. That's your
Mhm.
heart. And over time, if you keep pulling and pulling and pulling and putting pressure on that rubber band, it's not going to snap back. It's going
Right.
to become stretched out. And that's what your heart does when you have high blood pressure. It becomes stretched out. And so now your heart doesn't pump effectively. Now you have
Mhm.
respiratory problems because the blood is backed up. It's really blood backed up into your lungs and cause you
Mhm.
to have fluid buildup. And now you can't walk 5 feet. And that is not curable.
Mhm.
It's called congestive heart failure. People in our community like to say she has fluid on her heart, bless their soul, but it's called congestive heart failure. And you
Mhm.
end up with swollen legs and swollen extremities. And
Mhm.
then it's just
Mhm.
now my kidneys don't work because my blood pressure was so high, it killed my kidney function. So now I'm on dialysis because I have poor kidney function
Mhm.
and I have congestive heart failure just because I didn't treat my high blood pressure.
Oh yeah, that's definitely prominent in our community. There's
I
a
have
guy.
lost volume. Jen, I can't hear you.
Oh, check, check, check. Can you hear me?
Can you hear
Steven?
me?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
not sure what happened. Sorry.
And we can
that's
hear you so
okay.
well.
Yeah, but I
Oh,
wonder if she went out and came back.
yeah. Why don't you go out and come back in like we did before? You know, I was also trying to get the question in about what comes up as extras
Mhm.
for, like when you get these healthcare benefits, right? I think if we can utilize other benefits that come with it, like for example, like when you exercise,
Oh
you do
yeah,
yeah, um,
yeah. My health thing has like health programs that test test
mhm.
test.
I can hear. I'm sorry. Did
Okay,
Okay.
y'all hear all
yay.
of that rant I just went on about high blood pressure and
No, we
Yeah,
no,
we
we
heard
we heard all
you.
that. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we
Sorry.
can. No worries. We're live, so these things happen. So,
So while
but
while you
no,
were
good point.
so while you were out and coming back in, we were talking with Jen here for just a brief second about these healthcare benefits that you can get. I don't know if they provide the same with Medicaid or the ones that we have in the office. They would have these programs whereby it will tell you lose a certain amount of weight or walk a certain amount of distance or run a amount of mileage, and you would get this. Maybe I don't. Is tertiary a good word? Like extra care, which in turn or overall helps you benefit with your overall care in the long run because your office doesn't want you to be sick. I think Jen, when we did our other show, we were talking about it. Like, I think Tiffany, you were there. You fall sick, it costs the company because
True.
you're gonna be out of work out of work, and you're not gonna be at 100%. So therefore,
Right.
it is more beneficial for them to get you to these programs where you can do like you have a dietitian, or
Mm,
they incentivize you and tell you, hey, if you ran 5K maybe 2 times a year, you'd get maybe $100. Or if you do something like some type of that. Do you think that they're
mhm,
they're available to the public, if you can speak on that?
Yes, just about every company have a wellness program. We
Hmm.
don't seek it. You don't seek it out, but I can guarantee you if you go to your HR department and ask, do we have a wellness program? They will
Hmm.
all say yes. And usually they help
mhm,
you control your hypertension, control diabetes, high cholesterol. They have a lot of services. Your own health plan have LCMs, which are long-term case managers. They have
Hmm.
dietitians that you can use. They have disease management. If you have diabetes, you can have a dietitian who will help you learn how to educate you on how to eat appropriately for
mhm,
your comorbidity. Um, so just about all health plans have it. If
Hmm.
you have a health plan, Medicaid has it, Medicare has it.
mhm,
Some will, like Steven say, I mean, Sambaza says, will incentivize you to use the program. You even have apps on your cellular phone, on your
mhm,
on a Google store and Apple store.
mhm,
Like one is called Evidation, where you can download the app, and if you take like educational services, educational classes,
Surveys.
that's about 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, they'll give you points. And after so many points, you earn
10,000.
Things like $10 Starbucks gift cards or whatever gift
Oh,
cards you
wow.
want.
Yeah.
And this is something you can put in your pocket. You can put your phone in your pocket and walk around all day. It's going to capture your steps. If you walk X amount of steps, you get so many points. So there's a lot
Yeah.
of ways to promote wellness. One of my,
Definitely.
again, when I first started, I say I'm a big on preventative health, not
Mhm.
tertiary health. Tertiary health mean after the fact. I'm treating a symptom. I'm treating the actual disease because I have it
Mhm.
now. But my biggest thing is it's easier to prevent it. Just don't get it.
Mhm.
You know,
Right.
try to do the walking. I mean, you may not be able to walk an hour, but walk 10 minutes, walk 5
Mhm.
minutes. It doesn't matter. Anything helps to help you prevent any type of illness. One of the biggest things that we do is sitting is the new smoking. If you have you ever heard that?
No.
Sitting is the new smoking. A lot of people don't
Mm.
smoke anymore. If you
Mhm.
notice, there's not a lot of people smoking. People vape, which is worse than smoking.
Oh
So,
gosh.
but sitting is the worst thing. Most of us have sitting jobs right now, right? So everybody, oh, I
Mhm.
have back pain. Oh, I have lower back pain. You know why? Because you sit too much. You're not
Mhm.
stretching. Your hips
Mhm.
are very tight. And when your hips, your hip bone is connected to your backbone. Your hips are tight.
Right.
Your thighs hurt. You have hip pain. You have sciatica. You have lower back pain because all of that is because all of the muscles in that area are tight because all you do is sit all day. So that's why it's very important for you to get up and move. And the first thing people want to do is throw medication. That is a temporary fix.
Mhm.
It's all temporary. So you want to make sure you get up, you want to move, you want to stretch, you want to prevent that type of illness or that type of pain so you don't have to take medicine because medicine, there's always a side effect to a medicine.
Mhm.
All medicines have side effects, but
Right.
does the benefit outweigh the risk, right? Take
Mhm.
anti-inflammatories, you can kill your kidneys. Take Tylenol, you can kill your liver. So it
Mhm.
just depends. All medicine have side effects. It's best for you not to take the medicine. And the way to do that is to take care of your health, take care of your
Right.
mobility, take care of your stretching.
Mhm.
Try to watch your diet so you don't get diabetes or you end up with hypertension. Now sometimes that's hereditary and you can't avoid it,
Mhm.
but you can always control it.
Yes, definitely good information. With the programs with your employer, they may be on your employer website, on the internal employees page. Check it there. You know, with mine, I definitely took advantage. One program sent me a scale, sent me glucose monitors, and a pelvic.
Mm.
What's the thing? Like a pelvic and you contracted. They shipped me one of those.
For
The
Kegels,
pelvic
pelvic
floor.
floor exercise, Kegels.
But it's a device. So
Interesting.
interesting because
Interesting.
I was telling my husband like I got to do my private little
You know, you
exercise.
can get so much, and if you can't find it, because not everybody's computer literate. You know, I can tell you to
Mhm.
go check the
Right.
website, and if you're older or you just not with the computer thing, pick up the
Mhm.
phone and call your HR department. They have the
For sure.
information for you. So
For sure.
if worst case scenario, just call HR. They will provide you with the wellness link. They will set you
Mhm.
up with a wellness provider with every issue that you're having. They have smoking cessation. They have weight loss. I mean, anything you can think of,
Yeah.
your employer will provide. Not only a employer, the Affordable Care Act, not
Yes.
all services, all insurance that you have will provide a wellness packet. And Sambaza said it correctly. Yes, it is cheaper for your employer to keep you healthy than to have you off, because when you're off from work, it puts stress on the other teammates
For sure.
and it causes burnout if you have to go
Right.
out for an extended period of time. Um, Now, my disclaimer for work: we all have to work, right? If I wish I could win the lottery and I can quit today. I told a friend, I told one of my coworkers, if I got a ticket that told me I was winning a lottery in the middle of a leadership meeting, I would turn my computer off and walk away just like that, because I'm a firm believer, if I don't have to work, I don't want to work. But because we do have to work, we tend to we sometimes put work as a forefront of
Mhm.
our lives, and it shouldn't be. Work should be a part of your life. It should not be your life. And work,
Sure,
and you
for sure.
should not neglect your health because you have to go to work. If you have a doctor's appointment and your employer will not let you off to attend a doctor's appointment, then you need to second guess your employer,
For
because
sure.
your health and your well-being is the number one factor in your life, not your job. It, your job is what you do to support what you really love in life.
Absolutely.
Amen.
So that's one of your mental well-being, your work-life balance all plays a
Mhm, mhm.
factor
Hmm.
in your because it increases your stress level. It gives you cortisols. And then that cortisol just internally make your body work harder. So um anyways, I this is my passion. This is what I love to do. I can talk about
I
this
Yes.
see
for
that.
hours.
You just
We
moving. You just
definitely
moving and moving and moving. You
want
ain't
to.
stopping. I mean, hey, but there are a lot of gems that you're giving us. Go ahead, Jen.
No, for sure. I definitely want to give Miss Tiffany an opportunity to share about her business venture um, as we round out our episode and share.
Well, it's a business venture in
Mhm.
process. It's not fully visualized yet. It's not in the
Okay.
world yet.
Okay.
But I'm getting there. It will be called Lanyap Advocacy.
Okay.
Um, and what my services would be is pretty much what I talked to you here about. If you have a healthcare problem or you have a chronic condition that you need more information on, I could spend some time with you to educate you on the healthcare condition or your comorbidity, whichever you want. If you need me to help you navigate the
Mhm.
doctor's office to understand a new chronic illness or a life changing event that you heard, or maybe a family member with a life changing event.
Mhm.
I'm here to do that. I do not provide any kind of, in my business, there's no providing care. I don't provide care. I don't give you,
Okay.
I don't tell you what to do. That's not what I do. I'm not giving you the answer to your dilemma, but what I am giving you is the education for you to make an informed decision
Mhm.
about your current situation. I can help you navigate the healthcare space, the insurance. A
Mhm.
lot of people have life changing events and they don't know what kind of coverage they have. They don't
Mhm.
understand their coverage. They don't understand the benefit that they chose. I can help you by explaining your benefit to you, and so you in a way that you would understand it, because the medical jargon can be very confusing. And
Yeah.
if you're not in it, you truly won't understand it. And when you call the 800 numbers,
Mhm.
you're talking to a person just like you, believe it or not. Like, they
Right.
understand, all they can do is read to you what's on the page. They can't always explain what it actually mean. I have the medical background to
Mhm.
explain to you what it mean. What does it mean that your PET scan is 20% in co-insurance? Or
Mhm.
how many physical therapy visits do you have before you're out of them? What is your calendar, your max? I can explain that to you. Um, Probably better than the person who you're gonna call on the 800 number. So it's a
Right.
variety. It's 100% education what I do,
Mhm.
but it's necessary education. A lot of people like to get the services, but they, again, it's what's important to you. What's
For sure.
important to you? So that's what I do. I can talk about it all day. I have a wealth of knowledge about all of it.
No,
So
and yeah, I think this is awesome. I think back to when my mother was, dealing with her illness, and the siblings, were caring for her, and, it going through the insurance stuff was so like we didn't know, but we knew she had insurance. Matter of fact, she had two different types of insurance. Like one was like a backup to the other because she was
Mm-hmm.
a federal employee. And so trying to call and see like what they would cover and what they wouldn't cover. And it's like you get a different answer depending on who you talk to. And it's just like, well, she's got insurance. And, it was just really challenging. I mean, that was almost more stifling than dealing with, the illness and what she was going through. It was trying to figure out, okay, how can we, because, we had to do an appeal when she went into a rehab facility trying to get her stronger and stuff like that. And the whole appeal thing, like the
Yeah,
way the
that
claws come
alone,
out, oh my God.
you said a mouthful when you said appeal.
Oh
You
my
said
God.
a
It wasn't
mouthful.
pretty, but I
No.
mean, we pushed for it and, we got it. Oh, they honored it for 2 days. 2 days and put her right
Well,
on
that's a
out.
whole different. It's what you. Okay, so for that, just to go over
Mm-hmm.
just a brief snippet of what you're talking about, that is very traumatic for a family member. One is you have
Mm-hmm.
a somebody who you love just experienced a life-changing event, and you want to be there to take care of that individual, but you're not thinking realistically of what that person gonna need. You want to take them home and take
Mm-hmm.
care of them, but I would be there to tell you, okay, this is what you're realistically looking at, right? And I'm pretty sure they didn't tell you what it truly was going to be like once you got that family member home. It's difficult. And then even if you go
Mm-hmm.
into a facility, you have to make progress. And there's different levels
Oh
of
my God.
facilities, right?
Yes, they
So you
grade
go,
you on if you
right.
didn't eat all your breakfast, if you weren't giving it your all in
If you're not
therapy.
going to therapy in a
Yeah.
rehab facility, if you can't participate for up to
Mm-hmm.
5 to 6 hours a day, you don't belong. They're not going to approve you for that facility.
Yeah.
Then you're going to have to go to something called a SNF, a skilled nursing facility, where you can
Mm-hmm.
hopefully participate 2 to 4 hours a day. But usually, if they're not participating in a rehab, they're not going to participate in a SNF, and eventually it just becomes
Mm-hmm.
custodial because it's easier for the family, and no insurance is going to pay custodial care. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
but you didn't know that at the time,
Right,
and you
right.
couldn't understand.
Right.
And your mom, in your mind, mom needs this because she can't do these things.
Mm-hmm.
But in the insurance mind is she can't be here because she can't do these things. We can't
Okay.
continue to pay for her. This is custodial. So now you need to take her home. But now that you took her home, you need a bed, you need a 24-hour carrier. No one can
Yep.
work. She can't stay by herself,
Yep.
but they didn't
Yep.
prepare you for that.
Yeah. That's such and a lot of people are dealing with that caregiver situation. People move across the country, come back
Hmm.
home. That's a whole
It's a whole different ball
yeah.
game, but you have
Right.
a
Mm-hmm.
health care, you have a
Mm-hmm.
health plan. And one thing is to normalize that you can't do everything at home. You can't because you
Right.
have to work, but you feel guilty about putting them in a nursing home, right? Because they took care of you, so you want to take care of them. But the only way you can take care of them is if you work to take care of them. So don't feel guilty about putting them there. Feel guilty
Mm-hmm.
about not going
Right.
once you put them there. Feel guilty about not going to take care. I know they're in a facility, but remind you that that facility is full of a lot of people as well. So you
That's true.
have to go. It's easier for you to go take care of a family member for a short period of time while they get better
Mm-hmm.
in
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
facility than to be at your house and now you can't work and she needs 24 or he needs 24-hour care. But those are the type of things that I would put to you and say, this is your options. These are the options. You
Mm-hmm.
can do this, but this is going to come with this benefit. You do this is going to come with these issues. And then you would make an informed decision based off of where you are in your life, um, what is best for your family. And there's
That's
nothing
true.
that's best for, there's no one thing that's best for all families, right?
True. True.
So you have to make your decision based off of your family needs at the time and place you are, and not have a guilt behind it. But you
Mm-hmm.
only have a guilt because you don't know all the information.
I know, yeah, and I was just to pivot on a whole nother tangent, but I was just saying that there's value in your service because we definitely could
Very
have
much
used
so.
some guidance in navigating that. It's one trouble not to have insurance, but when you have multiple insurance, but just trying to put it in place in the proper way to get the care that yourself or your loved one needs, even though it's right there on the card or it's right there in the paper in the packet, no one's going to put it in place or make it happen if you don't execute it. So, a service like what you're mentioning, where, okay, look, you're covered for this, this is, you're eligible for this, okay, family member can take FML, just making it realistic, making it real for someone, definitely would have.
In layman's terms, because the jargon that's used in the healthcare, in insurance plans and even at your HR is not very it's not very user friendly. I'm gonna call it
for sure. Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
not very user friendly.
Absolutely.
So, I just go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I was just going to tell you guys from TikTok. Auntie JT said this is a nice topic. She loves the topic, and also we have potential guest out of this. They're liking this. Everyone is liking it. They're saying this is a great show, and we love the information that you're giving us. All right, continue.
Absolutely.
No, I was just going to say before we leave, thank you. But before we leave, make sure if you are a person who need the marketplace, open enrollment is through January. Make sure you get on there. Look at the plans that they have to offer. Look at if your doctors are in the network and the plans that's available to you, and make decisions based off of what your current needs are. Don't worry about deductible.
Right.
Because that's worst case scenario, and God forbid worst case scenario happens. And even when the worst case scenario happens, you usually still don't make your deductible, because especially if you have a family plan, because not only do you have to reach your individual deductible, but now you have to also contribute to the family deductible before you even reach the best benefit that's offered, right? So think about your current plan and what you need at this moment and how it's going to stack up against the premium that you will pay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, absolutely. And take advantage of those benefits. Sometimes there's even a discount to the gym club,
Sometimes
in your neighborhood.
It's free. Sometimes it's free. They will pay for it 100%. I know before my employer changed, they pay for our gym memberships.
Wow, that's amazing.
Just because they need you healthy.
Right.
And it's cheaper for it's cheaper for the insurance plan to be preventative. Prevention is always cheaper. Think about this. If you have a house, your multi-million-dollar house with no fire alarms, and a fire breakout, what was the purpose? You didn't prevent anything, so now you're going to pay more money on the back end. But if you have a fire alarm and you hear it's beep, 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 you're going to go and attend to the smoke or the small fire that's there maybe, and you're going to save yourself a whole lot of money. So prevention is the number one way to pay less money.
Absolutely.
Overall, prevention.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing about your business, and we hope rooting for you. Congrats as you get the finalization.
Thank you, Sambaza, for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Any additional thoughts, Sambaza, before we wrap it up?
I think we got everything in. The last thing is to say, hey, Jen, take us home.
All right. Well, thank you, Miss Tiffany, for joining us, and all of the people listening in real time on TikTok and our YouTube platform. We appreciate you so much. And the audio episode will be coming very soon. We hope today's conversation has inspired you and enlightened you. Definitely learned a lot of great information. Please consider sharing this. If you're on the TikTok, follow Sambaza Podcast and Jen Dub on TikTok. We want to, definitely amplify the voices that we're sharing in this platform so that we can be a service to all of you guys. So our collective awareness and advocacy play a crucial role in creating positive change. We invite you to stay tuned for more engaging content, and we look forward to continuing these important conversations in the future. With that, We thank everybody, and we will say, take care. At this time, we're going to go ahead and conclude the episode. We greatly appreciate you listening. We invite you to follow us on social media. On Instagram, it is Woke by Accident Podcast. On Twitter, it is Woke by. On Facebook, it is Woke by Accident Podcast. We also have the new website up, www.wokebyaccident.net. Please check us out. And also follow us on all of your favorite streaming platforms. And please leave a review and share feedback. You can also reach out by Gmail, wokebyaccident@gmail.com. And every time you listen, we appreciate it so much. Thank you for listening and take care.